recording is in progress. So again, just so y'all know that's what's going down. So this is still a men's group, even though it could be viewed by others later on. But this is still a safe spot. And just so you know, and if at any point in time y'all say, hey, we need to start turning the recording off, I can definitely do that and then record back later. But either way it goes. So again, what we try to do is do this meeting once a month on the second Sunday. However, the second Sunday of May doesn't work good for us because it's Mother's Day and we don't want to infringe on anyone's plans with their mothers or wives or significant others. Anybody has, whatever may happen on Mother's Day with wherever you may be. So we chose this date, and then in June, unless y'all think differently for Father's Day, I'm not trying to make there be any difference. I believe Father's Day is second Sunday in June as well, right? Or is it third Sunday? Anybody know?
No. I'm not for sure. No. But I wouldn't want to do it on Father's Day.
Right. Okay. So when we get done, we may just make it the first Sunday in June as well. And as we go through,
it's the third Sunday.
Third Sunday. Awesome. Appreciate that. And so if that is the third Sunday, then we can go back to our second Sunday moving forward. Now, I don't expect everybody to make every one of these, but it'd be great if you could. Just the opportunity, just like I said, just to get together and talk. But so today we got our very own young Melvin Augustus Harden III that gets to talk with us, and we're going to utilize him with some of his entrepreneurial background that he has going on. So just allow him to speak about a little bit about that, some of the things that he has going on there, what some of his desires, that what brought him to wanting to do the entrepreneurial side of things, and just kind of listen to him there. And of course, we can ask random questions. Like I said, just ask random questions, but just more so just be able to just allow them just to speak, allow us to hear voices and family members that we don't always hear from on just general topics. So Brother Trey, without any further ado, you got the floor, boss.
All right. Well, I kind of thought you was going to ask me questions, but I guess I'll just go off the top. Basically, for entrepreneurship, I am a personal online trainer. I also do stocks as well. I sell health fitness items. I sell lemonade, things like that. But what basically got me started was, just to be completely honest, I just seen no matter what job people had in our families or anything like that, there was always complaints. And I understand we have to work and do certain things for our families and everything. But if it's to the point to where you're complaining like every day, or if it's really driving you, and I see, of course, you're making great money, but you're not happy, my ultimate goal is happiness. So with me personally, when I started out with personal training, I was in San Antonio, just finished up, just dealing with school. And basically I had a friend come to me who wanted to get in shape. Basically, so I helped her. And then once I found out that, wow, I can actually do this, actually like training people, and I seen that I was able to actually change one person's life more so than I guess my idea of trying to change the world. It actually brought me happiness, and I seen that I can also do it on my time and still be able to see my family and things like that. I have quit 2 jobs because of they have had me to try to work on times where I was supposed to be with family over and over and over again. And the first time I worked and dealt with it, but after again, it's just family, especially with COVID, we know now family is here one day, gone another. So I basically made a choice personally to take control of my life and trust in God with the faith of a mustard seed and do what I know is best. I know how to sculpt bodies. I know how to help people get in shape. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse or anything like that, but my dad literally had a sciatic nerve injury that doctors with degrees, multiple degrees, could not fix. And I knew it was just his core. It's certain things that you don't have to go too far. I knew it was just his core. And I was able to fix that as well, to where now he doesn't have a sciatic nerve issue and didn't have to pay for pricey spinal surgery or anything like that. So basically, entrepreneurship also, in my opinion, helps you grow up as a man, because you basically have to depend on yourself. So if I want money today, I have to wake up and go get money. I don't have a job where I can clock in from 9 to 5 and be like, okay, well, I know this week I'll make $500 as long as I clock in to work from 9 to 5. I literally have to every day go find money to eat, kind of like a lion going to hunt for food. I literally have to do that every day to make sure I can provide for myself and the people I deal with. So entrepreneurship just, I guess it just kind of came to me. I never really jumped at it or wanted it or anything like that. I actually wanted to be a computer engineer and make $100K a year and just be done and I thought that was happiness. But when you see people had all this money with these great jobs and either their wives were complaining about time or their families were complaining about things and they weren't happy either, but I guess the bills and stuff was paid, that personally just didn't pull my heart and be like, that's something I could personally do, even though I have had family and parents and grandparents and every aunts and uncles that all have done that before me. It's just I've seen what I guess I could say y'all have done and things like that, and personally it just didn't fit towards me. But I also know like we have cousin Ricky who used to own like Subways, so it's just things like that. I just felt something different and I just moved towards it, to be completely honest.
Awesome. I think one of the greatest things you said about that piece was with things that you learned along the way is how to be able to simply help your dad, man. I thought that was awesome with the being able to help get the sciatic nerve situation under control. That was pretty good. I said, if nothing more, I said, that's like, wow. Because I understand the being able to help somebody and from a physical fitness perspective, things like that, because all people need help. If they didn't need help, then physical fitness wouldn't, trainers wouldn't be necessary. We wouldn't have many overweight people, out of shape people that there are. But it's hard. It's hard to do, and so sometimes it's hard to do by yourself. And a lot of people need the help, need the assistance, and don't know exactly where to start. And so that's where having a personal trainer comes into play. What's been one of the best ways for you to get your name out there with, say, from a personal training perspective? Well, I know you mentioned online training now. What's been
I have online, so I have Instagram, Facebook, things like that. But honestly, it was Instagram and just posting videos and then tagging. So certain people, like when people don't feel happy about their bodies, they look up fat loss routines, detox recipes, anything they feel like they can do a quick fix to lose a quick 5 to 10 pounds to feel better about themselves. So when I do certain videos and stuff, I was tagging things like that off in the tags, but I was also doing like challenges. So I'll do free 14-day challenge and I'll post the ab routine every day that took maybe 5 minutes to do. So I was basically calling people out on their excuses, because I understand that we're all busy and people say, well, I don't have time to work out or do this. And I tell them straight to their face that they're lying. Because if you have time to watch TV, if you have time to scroll on your phone, tell me about Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. If I can go to your Facebook today and see you had time to post, you had time to do 20 squats while you were posting. Like we watch TV, you have commercials. Like that's how I got my dad into really working out. During commercials now, he gets down, does 20 abs, 20 push-ups, whatever he's trying to work on. Like I basically got people to the point of understanding you don't need to get to your ultimate goal tomorrow, because you weren't at that goal 2 days ago or 2 weeks. You eating badly, little by little over time is how you got to your point. So that's honestly how you have to get out of it. Because with surgery, even with things like that, I tell women, yeah, you can go get surgery and look like Beyonce tomorrow. That's great. But you still have to work out. You can't avoid working out. And also when people don't work out, it leads us into depression. And Black people also have a lot of trauma to deal with. And since most men don't want to talk about it, the least you can do is work out and help your wife and your kids and family so you can at least knock that stress off. And then when you work out, what people really don't know is down to science. Your body literally releases endorphins to make you feel happy, to literally reward you for being great and helping your body.
So in other words, so how do you help somebody with the mindset, the change that's needed to be able to every day
break it down
stay
to small
happy?
steps. So breaking, kind of like I said, you're breaking it down to small steps, getting them to understand that, okay, let's say you don't have an hour in the gym to work out every day, but you say, well, I have 20 minutes every 3 days to where I can kind of do something. Well, let's start there. And let's say you don't have, literally, let's say you have zero time to work out. But what else can you do? You can start, okay, well, let me focus on drinking more water, eating more whole foods, eating more fruits, eating more vegetables, and let's reduce eating the processed foods, all the donuts and cookies and stuff that's cheap, but makes us feel happy temporarily, but then hurts us in the long run. So it's more so I tell people just if we can focus on breaking it down and you not trying to go from A to Z and just go from A to B, B to C, C to D. And then when you look up, you're at your goal. Because I don't know if y'all know, but if you compound a penny every day for 30 days, at the end of the 30 days, it literally becomes $1,000,000. But you won't even see 100K until the last 4 or 5 days. So it's all about taking small chunks and going toward work as a kindergartner. They slowly build you up so you can kind of get accustomed to the world and the way the systems work. And that's how you have to treat yourself and actually give yourself grace enough to do that.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Brothers, that's on. If y'all have any questions or comments, feel free to step in. Don't want to give you guys opportunity. Don't want people to lose their thoughts as we go through.
I was going to say, I agree exactly what he's saying, by taking small steps, one day at a time. They say Rome wasn't built in one day, but, we feel that, like I say, it done took us over a period of time to gain this weight. Now we want to lose it in, a month or so. And so I agree what he's saying with how to go about doing different things, trying to be healthy, eating the right way. My problem is that I'm a seafood person. I see food and I just eat. And but I do realize that I need to eat more vegetables, or I need to do this. So what I try to do is not eat a whole lot of anything at one time. I just eat just sparingly. And but what I do, even with that, I just eat more often, trying to bring up my metabolism, to to so that I can do better, you know. Um, and so I agree with Trey what he's saying, but I do know that as we get older, we have to do something. We have to do something. Uh, Even with resting our body, getting our body rested, we got to do more than just um, the day-to-day walking. And what I mean by that, some people think, well, I walk to the store. Well, then store might just be a block, and they feel that they're walking. You have to get that heart rate up in order to, when you consider that walking, in order to burn those fats. And so even to get your energy up. So I'm just agreeing with what he's saying for his trying to be in good health and trying to stay in that situation.
Agreed. Anyone else, anything on the topic there?
I got a
As we continue to push.
question.
All right.
On this, you say eating your vegetables and fruit. Uh, what what time of day do you eat your fruit? Is it in the morning time or any given time
I
of the day?
mean, you can eat it at any given time, but the best is in the AM because fruit basically detox you. It's basically
And
fruit because fruit is literally 70 to 80% water. All fruits are 70 to 80% water. So it's basically just flavored water from God in the essence. So it's best to eat it in the morning because it detox you. And like, let's say you usually eat a heavy meal late at night. That's kind of what you want to kind of get out your body and first thing of the day. You don't really want to put nothing heavy on top of that because when you do eat fruit, it's most likely going to send you to the bathroom at some point of the day.
right. Second question. Uh, I used to walk, but now I got a little gout, and I can't do too much walking. So what should I do to keep the weight down for limited walking?
You don't have to walk. You can like sit on the floor and literally do like they have ab workouts. Like they literally have. You can type on YouTube. I had a friend do it. It's literally called chair workouts. Like I guarantee you, like I kind of tell people, you know how when we want to research something and find something that seems impossible, we Google to the end of the earth. I kind of tell people we have to treat ourselves like that with stuff we know we need to do. We really don't give it everything. So like you can literally probably type in on Google or YouTube, talk about workouts to do without standing or workouts to do sitting on the floor without using your feet, since that's what is causing it. You can literally find workouts. But if you also, I think I told RJ he can get like y'all email addresses and stuff like that. I can send links and stuff. If y'all have any questions, to email me about health, and I can go find the info for you if you need me to, things like that, and then send it to y'all personally if you don't want to just do the work and want to basically learn from a trusted source. I have no issue with that as well.
I'd also say this in terms of your question, what you were talking about, fruits and vegetables. Whatever your morning is, and the reason why I say it like this, because I know not everybody's works traditional 9 to 5. They're up at somewhere between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. type of deal. So let's just say you're the type of person who has an overnight job. And so when you get off work, it may be 6 a.m. for you working time, but that's for you, that might be getting ready to go to bed type of deal. And so if that's the case, if your morning time, traditional morning is say 4 p.m., well, that's when you wake up, then let that be the time that you want to consume a lot of your fruits in that situation. So it just depends on what is considered to be your morning time. But at the end of the day, like he said, with those fruits, and vegetables as well, but definitely fruits, it's mostly water, flavored water. That's probably the best phrase to call it, is flavored water. Especially if, let's just say, you choose to blend it or juice it, which is what I do in the mornings. Make major fruit smoothies. Those are my breakfasts that I have now, that I've been doing since January. And that has tremendously worked for me. I used to say, well, that's not gonna be enough food, to tie me over until lunch. You'd be surprised. Again, going back to the mindset, I was surprised at how full that I was just off of a homemade fruit smoothie. So I think I do five fruits, and I throw spinach in there. And I was surprised at that. I'm like, man, and I felt full. But again, it's all about the mindset, changing the systems, and it's been huge for me since, like I said, I've been doing it since January.
I was going to say, and Trey, you can let me know if I'm right or not. But I think once you eat 3 times every 3 hours, let me say that, every 3 hours. And then when I say eat, I'm not talking about big meals. The meal, just like what RJ said, smoothie, fruit smoothie, or whatever. When you're doing that 5 to 6 times a day, every 3 hours, your metabolism builds up, and then you find that you don't eat as much because most of the time you're full. So, like I say, I want to see if Trey, if he agree with that, or if that's something that's not true.
That's something, in my opinion, that used to be true. In my opinion, it's not true as much as you can fast, because fasting builds your metabolism more than anything. According to science and what they teach for bodybuilding, they tell you they want you to eat more to build your metabolism. But my thing is once I really started learning the body more for than just bodybuilding, you got to think of your stomach as your car starter. Would you want to start your car 6 times a day to go to the same destination? So that's what I kind of tell people. Every time you eat, your body has to kick up and kick in. And yes, that's good because it does have to pull fat for energy to burn. But it's more so, I tell people, it's really the simplest thing is calorie deficit. Are you burning more calories than you eat on a daily basis? Like, they had a study where a dude literally ate 2,000 calories of Twinkies every day, compared to a dude who had 2,400 calories of basically whole foods, no desserts, no processed food, none of that. The dude who ate the Twinkies basically lost more weight simply because of he was eating 4,000 calories less. So it is more about what you eat and things like that. But if you want to just break it down to the basics of the basics, it's about a certain amount of food you eat on a daily basis. I more so go for fasting because I've seen that it works better. And then fasting, literally when you fast, I don't know if you know, and y'all can look it up to fact check me, But when you fast and your body goes into ketosis, can any of y'all name the first three things that your body eats?
Eat up your
I'm guessing. I couldn't hear it. What did you say?
eat up your sugar. For one thing, eat up the sugar, the carbs. Eat up that
To be
sugar.
completely honest, it doesn't. It actually doesn't do nothing with your sugar. So a lot of people don't know. Like that's kind of why they keep us eating, and that's what I kind of found out, which is why I really don't go for the 6 times a day. They keep you eating because when you fast and your body goes into ketosis after the 16 hours, before 24 hours, your body starts to eat cancer cells, gallstones, bladder stones, like all of the basically diseases in your body. Your body eats itself. So fasting is actually better than medicine. That's kind of why they have us to keep eating and stuff like that. So, because basically, the more we eat food, basically causes disease if we don't eat the proper stuff. Like you can look on the back of Twinkies or any other cookies we love, and they have literally 50 ingredients, and none of us know how to pronounce any of them. So if you don't know how to pronounce it, you can kind of guess what your body's thinking when you're putting it down there.
So when you say fasting, I mean, I know what fasting is. So what is the good way to fast? Let me say it that way.
You can like fast how I like the best way I like to fast is like, let's say, so you go to sleep, let's say your last meal is at 10 p.m. You go to sleep then. When you wake up at 8, that's already been 10 hours. So you're already in a fasted state. That's why it's called breakfast. It's really breaking your fast. It's not, I don't know why they say breakfast so fast. It's really break fast. You're breaking your fast. So I do it straight in the morning. It's easier for me to just wake up, drink water, eat fruit, basically allow your body to detox itself as much as it can to like 11, 12 to your lunchtime. And then I would have like your first meal and things like that. But basically you want your body to more detox and things like that more than eating, because at any given time your colon has 10 to 30 pounds of, I guess I'm the youngest, so hopefully y'all don't take it as disrespect, but pounds of shit. Literally has 10 to 30 pounds of poop just sitting in there at any given time, which is why you need to do colon cleanses and things like that, because our body literally keeps all this waste. So it's better to clean it out than steadily put more into your body, because we know we've been doing that since we've been a baby.
And it's ironic you say you say that, because I was just listening to a speaker talk about virtually that same thing, word for word almost, in terms of one with the detoxing, then the amount of waste that we carry around daily. And so, you know, and I thought about from myself perspective and the changes that I've been going through here this year with this weight loss journey. I mean, that's literally what it was. I said the most of the weight I've lost so far is really the weight that was around the gut that was just being there. And so I'm like, man, and so of course, and one of the things that I teach in our health classes, and y'all heard this before, but how many of us really do it? When you do have a bowel movement, you know, other than just simply just dropping and flushing, y'all supposed to look and see what's in there. You know, see what you put off, because, you know, that's going to tell a little small story, especially when you look at the color, the shape, all of those things tells a story about what you've been doing with your dieting in terms of your eating and things putting into your body. So all of that's a legit thing that you got to keep up with. And so, and to throw this in here as a plug, like a little miniature commercial. If y'all haven't gotten your colonoscopy, for those that's already over 50, if you're not doing that, whether it's every year or every 5 years, whatever they told you, make certain that y'all start doing that. I haven't had to do that yet. I'm not 50 yet. I still got 6 years to go, but just throw that out there for those if you never had one. And if you have had one, wait, buddy, and it's been past 5 years, you might want to holler at your PCP to schedule one for yourself so you can get that done along with your prostate exam, gentlemen, for those that know. And in this family, we know prostate cancer is legit real. Prostate has taken out several men of our family, as well as has sidelined some temporarily, but they're back into the game. So make sure you get your bodies checked up for all of this stuff plays an important role. So that's just a little bit of an infomercial for the family as we do this, but we'll go jump on in. Look like this brother Cedric. Is that Brother Cedric is there with us? You're on mute if that's you. You're on mute. Up, you hit the camera, you turn the camera off instead of the mic. But if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be our cousin. You're still on mute. This is going to be our cousin, Cedric Harrell. Yeah, we got to find that camera button, not the camera button, but the little microphone button.
Gentleman is on the bottom on the left, the one look like the microphone.
Yeah.
On your left side at the bottom.
Tap your screen and it should pop up for you.
Go.
There it is. There we go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all helping this old man. How you doing, sir? Yeah, this is Cedric.
They're good.
Some good talk going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I share something?
Yeah, you go right ahead.
You just said a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a colonoscopy about 3 weeks ago. I had my first one in 2017. They found 3 polyps, and they took care of them at the time when I was doing the colonoscopy. They came back with no cancer. So they said, but since they found polyps, I should come back in 3 years. So that was 2020. And 2020 it was hard to get in because of the epidemic we're going through. So I just got to follow up on that. So it made me go 5 years before I got it, and I just got it back in first part of April. Yeah. First part of April, I just got it. So that made 5 years in between the first time I had it in 17 to 5 years. They found 6 polyps when I went back in April. 6 polyps, and a couple of them was pretty big, but they turned out they were non-cancerous. So the key to the matter is to get them early. So they said they're non-cancerous, but they can turn into cancer if you don't get them out of there. So thank God that both times that I've had the colonoscopy, they got them in time enough before they were materialized into a cancerous cyst or cancer, whatever, polyp or whatever. So I thank God for that. So I go back again in 3 years.
Let me ask you this question because go ahead.
Yeah, the same thing on prostate. I went in 2019 to my urologist, and they caught prostate cancer so early they couldn't really detect what it was, but they said something is going on. So, and it was so prematurely early, so they said, oh, and in the final analysis, they found out that it was prostate cancer, and it was cancerous as well, but they treated it. They treated me one time. I got a good radiation shot, and it lasted me for 6 months. And after the 6 months is over, so for the last couple of years, I've gone back, even when I had the treatment. That was in 2019. So by the end of 2019, that was toward the end of 2019. So by October of 2021, they said it was non-detectable. So the treatment worked. So after 6 months after that radiation treatment, one treatment I got, and it lasted for 6 months. After that time, I went back. Since that time, they said it's non-detectable. So they kind of eradicated, and I don't have any issues with it. I didn't have any symptoms or anything beforehand, but certainly now it says non-detectable. So those are 2 things that I have been confronted with, and thank God that, everything all is well. So we're trying to maintain that weight and that blood pressure and the cholesterol.
Awesome. Let me ask you this question, and I think I know what the answer is, only just from a thought process. I don't know it from a practicality. But after they found the polyps the first time for you in 2017, were you able to notice anything different, like around 2021, 2022, when you went back and they did it again, in which they found, you said 6 more polyps? Could you feel like there was something there?
No, I never did. Neither time did I feel like anything there. So something could be stool blockage. Sometimes your stool will change or something, or something. So that's why they asked, there any blood in your stool, anything like that. I noticed one thing, that I was more constipated more often, than I usually am. And usually I treat the constipation by eating some high fiber cereal. And I love cereal. So I eat bran cereal at night or different high Cheerios or different things that's high fiber. So usually by the morning, I empty out. And so my stew was regularly in the morning. I had to have my early morning visit between 7:30 and at 9 or somewhere off in there. I was regularly doing that. So I noticed that I was having more constipation, in the last couple of years. So when they found 6 in there, pretty much in all of the parts of my colon, I at least had a polyp or somewhere, and they said it's so many miles of colon that you got in you. I don't know what it was, but they say we found some 2 miles. And also in six different parts of my colon, they found at least a polyp in there. One of them was pretty big, but they got him out. They said, you're doing good, and just live healthy and do the right things. So I go back in 3 years. So I thank God that everything turned out right. But if, say, I neglected going and not go at all, those polyps could turn into cancer, some kind of cancerous polyp. So stay on top of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you for sharing that. Because like I said, those are the type of things that, and we've talked about this for years. When I say years, I know at least about 8 or 10 years ago, I remember Gene Harold, we talked about, we got to get together as men, the Harden man, because we got things going on, but nobody's talking, nobody's telling anybody. And so it's if you got something going, nobody knows, and then nobody knows to find out until all of a sudden now we got 6 months till, we're about to have a funeral. Like what? And that's when we find out. And so, but if we talk about things more like this up front, then it'll be more comfortable for people who want to feel like, let me go ahead and talk to my doctor. Let me go ahead and just get a checkup. I ain't know this prostate. You got to do what with this finger? Like, no, I ain't finna do that kind of stuff. But if that's what it's going to take to live longer, just by doing that test once a year, or do the blood work first is one thing they can definitely do. Get your PSA number through the blood. And then if it's high enough, then they can determine, well, let's go ahead and do the rectum exam for the prostate. But, there's things that's out there, to take care of oneself, to live longer, it's easier to pay a little bit now than having to pay a whole lot later, just to take care of what could have been taken care of the first time without any major complications. In this situation, like you said, that prostate cancer was so early. Once it took one shot, and you said one shot of radiation, and that was it, and it's non-detectable now, and that's awesome. That's a blessing. That's a story not everybody gets to share that same kind of story. Some have to tell you about how they had to have this, and then maybe even have it removed or something of that nature. That's you got a story with it, but then it's got detected early, and that they say that the key to it is early detection. And so definitely appreciate you sharing that. And so again, brother, I know it's not all of us here, but as y'all got friends, you got brothers, you got cousins, you got people that you're like legit friends, your homeboys, regardless of our age, y'all should be talking about these things if y'all are not. I always talk about, that slogan that says, friends don't let friends drive drunk, or drink and drive. Well, friends shouldn't let friends not take care of them bodies, from a health perspective either, so make certain that we are communicating these things. Like I know Trey's not at the age of myself and obviously others, but my group of buddies right now, we're literally talking about these kind of things right now. Like, hey man, y'all go get your prostate checked yet? Like, prostate check? What you talking about? Yeah, man, you gotta get these type of things. We're my crew of partners from college, we're that 42 to 46 age right now. And so that's a hot time right there for that. And so it's amazing that we talk about this, and we just started talking about the colonoscopy. We lost a buddy last year. He died at 39, man, 39.
Wow.
He had the Guillain-Barré syndrome, and then he also had colon cancer. He supposedly recovered from the Guillain-Barré, and I know I'm butchering the word, but then that colon cancer came, and then he had to take a lot of colon out. They took a lot of colon out. He was on a bag, and then I think he lived like that for maybe a little bit, right around a year. Then the cancer came back, and then it took him. I'm like, dude. But again, early detection. This is a person that was healthy. I mean, healthy until the day that he was not healthy, literally. And I know that doesn't really make sense, but it's just the way it worked. He was literally fine until the day that he wasn't. No symptoms, no issues. It just hit.
Yeah.
I
never had a symptom either way for colon or prostate. Well, to be honest, on the prostate, I thought I had a bladder infection. So I went to the restroom one time, and it was blood in my urine. So, oh man, probably a bladder infection or whatever, kidney, some kind of infection. So I went to the care now, and they said they gave me some medication for bladder. Gave me some medication with that and all. But I already had a scheduled appointment with my urologist. So probably about maybe no more than a week after that incident, when as you said, I noticed there was blood in my pee. And and I told him about that. He said, "Yeah, it probably was a bladder, but we'll just check you out." So that's when they found out. I said, "No, it's something that's going on, and not that." So thank goodness that things just lined up just early. But I didn't have any symptoms, no discomfort, no anything. So that was fortunate that the Lord blessed that the timing just was perfect and everything worked out.
Say, RJ.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I think that it's important for us to know, whether men or women, that we have to stay busy and we have to pay attention to our bodies, and we need to go to the doctors as we get older and get ourselves checked out. We have to keep a busy life. A lot of time we want to retire and sit down, and to me, that is the time that you can have a more healthier life, because you done retired and you can go do something, and you don't have to be as busy being busy. You can take time to take care of yourself. And so I just think that what y'all talking about tonight, I think it helps. I think it helps just even to have the conversation. It might make somebody say, I need to go start walking, and I need to do a little something. So I think all of this is good, especially, like I say, going to the doctor and taking the colonoscopy and prostate cancer, whatever that it might be. I know so many people, they don't even go to the doctors at all. They don't go. And then all of a sudden now,
rolling the dice.
Something started happening. So and he's right, whereas sometimes you don't feel different things that are going on in your body. Like I say, pollen is not something that you feel. I mean, it's there, and so I just say, just continue to just take care of yourself, all of us.
Yeah. Hey, RJ.
Yes, sir.
I've enjoyed all the speaking this evening, all the information, and it's been proven that men don't go to the hospital, check on their bodies, go to the doctor like women. They don't keep up with their health, and I have found out that what worked for me and my wife was the fact that we got off of all the white sugar, the white flour, the cold drinks, the tea, the processed foods. All of those things are things that you can do. You can do, and we've got to take responsibility and be accountable to our spouses, to ourselves, to do the things that we can do, and stop depending on somebody to not to put Trey out of business, but to things that you can do. You need to take the initiative to do them. It's your body, and who's to take care of your body better than you? And so we got off of all those things, and we periodically go get a pizza, periodically, but it's not something we do on a regular basis. Put down the Earl Campbell's, all those processed foods, because they're not good for you. And for sure, it's what we put in this machine that causes the problem. And I liken it to you driving a car that runs off of unleaded, and you pull up to the gas station and put diesel in it. It's going to mess it up. In fact, it's not going to run. So it's certain things that really goes against the health of our bodies, and we just need to have the discipline, the foresight, and the courage to not mess with it. Put it down, and I think about what we are training our children to eat. A lot of candy, a lot of sweets, a lot of cold drinks, all the chips and different stuff like that. I was saying in Sunday school this morning, our children are being put in school at 3 years old, and they are beginning to get indoctrinated from people that we don't know, people that don't love the Lord, people that got all types of crazy ideas. And so to me, that's saying that we've got less than 3 years to work with our children without outside interference. So it's just some things we got to do. Just some things we got to do. And I'm so thankful that we have people here, there, and everywhere like Trey that's taking it on himself to involve himself in that type of entrepreneurship and not only help people, but make a living at it. And I applaud you, Trey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'm gonna say amen.
Like that.
Ditto,
And to
ditto.
backtrack off Cousin Kirby, I want to also say it's like y'all are adults. We're adults. So if people cannot eat fruit, drink water, and eat vegetables, and you had the nerve to tell your kids what they were supposed to do right, you are the pot calling the kettle black. So we have to honestly, it's like basically the word that Cousin Kirby said is accountability. We have to hold ourselves accountable, because you not want to do for your body is also hurting your wife, your kids, and all of your family members. So we have to do better for ourselves and our loved ones. We can't be selfish to the point where we're willing to die and leave this earth simply because you don't want to take care of your body. You want to eat things you know aren't good for you. And then also your gut is your second brain, if y'all didn't know of that. So a lot of times when you can't think straight and stuff like that, it's because of your diet.
What you're eating, exactly right.
All right, Trey, you keep telling folks that they're gonna hang up on you.
What?
You can't. I was just joking, but I'm just being, keep telling them what they eat. They can't think right. Whoa! I like my this. I like my that. I like my pig feet. I like this.
Cool.
As one would say.
Hey, but it's kind of like I tell people at the end of the day, is
stop
like
that. Stop
when,
that.
When God is when we meet God and He tells us that we should have did this, and that. Like the commandments say what they say. So it's kind of the same thing. Like God told you to take care of your temple. So I tell people honestly, they can go argue with God. Like He told you to take care of your temple in His Bible, in His Word. So you have to. If you can't take care, like even if we make $1 million, what's the point of making $1 million and I have to spend half of it on my healthcare bill?
Yeah,
I can't even enjoy it. So it's like it does suck. And what happens when I finally get grandkids that I've been wanting for so long, but now I can't walk or do nothing with them because I'm bedridden.
Yeah.
It's like we have to be prepared for life. Yes, sir.
The more quality foods we eat, the less money we have to spend on the doctor.
Oh, trust me, I know. My money for food has actually increased since I stopped eating a lot of, but basically since I went like plant-based and vegan about 4 or 5 years ago. Now, kind of like you say, I do every once in a while. I have started adding like salmon back into my diet, and I do make more pizzas and stuff like that on my own. But if I never, and I can be completely honest, this is my story. If I never went vegan, plant-based, or anything like that, you can ask my dad and everybody else. Y'all kind of seen how I ate. I ate all the meats, the starches, the breads, but I might eat a cup of green beans. And now I eat sweet peppers, avocado, zucchini, black beans. I didn't even know until I went plant-based that they had purple sweet potatoes. Like, it's just so much I just wasn't eating because I was ignorant and refused to, because I was stuck on the protein issue. And even with protein, I had to, when the truth was brought to me, I had to be honest. Elephants are big. Elephants, gorillas, and cows are literally some of the biggest animals we have. They don't eat meat. So it's kind of like, in my head, I hate middlemen. I hate anybody getting part of my profit if I can get all of it. So in my head, eating meat to me was like a second source of protein. So I went out and started finding like you eat beans, just all these other things like lentils and things like that that's good for us to give us this protein and also the fiber to clean out the BS that's in our bodies. So I'm not recommending anybody give up meat or anything like that. It's just
Say, Trey,
Trey, I lost your
this
voice.
plant.
I'm listening.
Plant.
I'm here. I can't. I haven't heard anything. My signal could be bad.
Hey, Uncle Sidney, if you were saying something, I don't hear it anymore.
The plant burger.
You say plant burger, the Beyond Burgers?
Advertising on TV, Burger King.
Okay, yeah, he's talking about the Beyond Burger, the plant-based burgers, Trey. Okay, I don't know if you hear Trey or Sydney right now, but I know I heard Sydney say something about the Beyond Burgers.
Yes, you're right, RJ.
Okay, I don't know if Trey can hear us, but I know the Beyond Burgers. Just if you hadn't heard, it's the same as where he's talking about going to a plant-based that's basically taking out the meat. And there's a lot of different plants out there based off how you prep it, how you cook it. It can actually taste like meat. And as strange as that is to take on, that's kind of what's happening with some of these items. And so that's what's going on with the Beyond Meat and all those things. A lot of the plant-based, so you lose the cholesterol option because it's meat. And so in this case, with it being plant-based, you lose the cholesterol. So obviously your cholesterol is going to go down, which is good. And then you just a better setup overall because it is a plant. So your vegetables increase your vitamins and minerals that come from those vegetables going to naturally increase. So it becomes like a good calorie in essence. I'm not exactly certain what your question was, but I did hear you say that particular burger. So it's not a bad thing. It's just a little bit of getting used to. Oh, and also just remember, just because something is a good item, it's all about how you prepare it that can still mess it up. So if you put it all in grease and things of that nature, so you just took something that was so wonderful and just made it bad. So just be careful how you prepare and what you put in, all the different oils and things of that nature. How many of y'all not be so loud, please? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, I guess his phone finally must have died. I know he talked about that before. But again, as we were saying, with what we're trying to do here monthly, as our iron sharpening iron, is to be able to just get on and just communicate with brothers as family more than what we've ever done before. And honestly, I personally blame all of this great communication that we're doing lately since March of 2020 on the pandemic. And I say that because before the pandemic, we didn't get to see each other and talk to each other as much as we do. And granted, I know the phone has always been there, but everybody wasn't picking up the phone doing it. Also, during this pandemic, we got a brother on this line that I ain't never heard of prior to the pandemic. And I'm glad that the pandemic came because that's connected us to a side of the families that we hadn't, well, I haven't ever met before. And he's here in Fort Worth. And I had no clue. And he stays right over there by Uncle Ricky, who was on his line. So he's right over there, living right by him in the same neighborhood.
And his son went to school with
Princeton. That's right.
We saw each other here about a week or so ago at the bank.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about, RJ?
Cedric Harrell, part of the Harrell family. You know, from
Okay, Cedric.
Pastor. Let me say, Pastor Cedric Harrell.
Okay, Pastor Cedric Harrell. This is Pastor Kirby Harden.
And Kirby, he pastored the church. I know y'all did it one time. Cut all the trees, trimmed all the trees. What's the name of the church? It was Castleberry Church over there off of Wilborn.
Castleberry. Okay.
Y'all cut those trees, trimmed those trees one time.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
I mean, that was years back. Yeah.
Okay. Good to see you, Brother Harold, Pastor Harold.
Yeah, and so like I said, it's just good to be able to connect. So so that's what we're able to do. You know, I know people say in a times of bad things, or one would say bad times, there are still some good times that can definitely come out of it. And so I like to blame a lot of communicating that we're doing as a family has been because of the pandemic. I mean, like I said, we just talk about the things that took place just in 2020. The number of times that we did Zooms and live stuff like this was, I think we did like over 10 different lives and Zooms during just 2020 by itself. And we did the Mother's Day, we did the Easter, we did just the randoms, jumping on Saturdays, did the game nights. I mean, just things that we were able to do that we weren't able to do if it wasn't a family reunion day. And so we want to be able to continue to keep these things going. And it's virtually free. When I say virtually, you know, it doesn't cost a whole lot. And so just be able to do these things. And so that's what we're wanting to be able to do and move forward with. So, but yeah. So as we get ready to close, you know, when I say close, I mean, we're virtually done with the portion. We don't want to make it long. We'll keep right at about an hour so nobody feel like they're having to devote too much time. But give parting words ultimately as we get ready to close. So we'll go with Ricky first, since I'm looking at my left, since you're the first one on my left screen here. I'll let you go first with some parting words or some closing words.
Well, the only thing I say, I'm glad that I had a chance to get on tonight. I've been wanting to get on the rest of them, but like I say, if it ain't on my mind, I get so busy sometimes, and that's the problem that I have, just being busy and trying to slow myself up. But I'm just glad to be here to talk to y'all and to see y'all on Zoom. I think it's a good fellowship. And I think even the topic tonight was good. I really appreciate these young men like Trey and RJ, and I think that was the only two young men that was. When I say that, not calling y'all old, but what I'm saying is that generation that are able to keep us together, put some glue on us, because a lot of us don't know how to do the Zoom and all the stuff, and they do. And so it keeps us together, and we can give them information. So I'm thankful.
Awesome. Brother Harold. Oh, Okay, I don't see a mute button, but I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I don't know if you got Bluetooth connected or something, but I don't hear your volume coming through. Still nothing. Still nothing. Anybody else able to hear a thumbs up or thumbs down if you can hear?
I can hear you, RJ.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Brother Cedric, we can't hear you.
I don't know if anybody can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Uncle Sidney. But
all right, you hear me now.
There,
Okay.
there you go. We get you now.
Now there we go. There was another mute on there that was muted. The muted on my phone. I guess I'm hooked two ways. Can you hear me now? So I'm just glad to be able to share in with the brother and tell my story on my colon and as well as prostate and just anything I can share to be helpful, and glad to see you all again. I think one time me and my brother and my son, we came down to DeSoto to a family reunion and met some of the family at that. That was 2 years ago, quite a few years ago, and I'm just glad to be able to join in and speak with you all today. And I wish everyone the best, and I look forward to tuning in again in the future.
Awesome. All right, and just if you would mind, get on the phone afterwards and call your brother and tell him he missed an opportunity to be on with us.
Because he reminded me, and my son did too. Cedric Jr. reminded me, and my brother John Tyler. But he been suffering with a toothache or something, so he probably up there clamming the wall.
Talk about your brother.
Trying to share something with him. He had a bad toothache, so I'm gonna have to call to check on him.
Understood. Cousin Kirby.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm glad to be on this Zoom program with all of you today, and I was glad to see Brother Cedric, and of course, I love you first, and I'm just so thankful to be alive.
Yeah.
What?
I said I got you.
I'm just. I'm so thankful to be alive, healthy, wealthy, and wise, and walking in wholeness of spirit, soul, and body, and realize that it's up to me to put the proper thing in this machine that God blessed me with. And I love living, although I'm in the land of the dying, on my way to the land of the living, Ricky. I want to be here as long as possible. Therefore, I need to treat this body right. Hey, love you guys.
Amen. Love you first.
Hey, Kirby, just curious. Prior to tonight, have you met Cedric before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Briefly at McCree's, Lynetta McCree's, I think it was her dad's funeral. I was able to meet Pastor Kirby. I think I even got to do a scripture or something on the program, and that was the last time.
Yeah,
what's your brother's name? Daryl. Daryl.
Oh, okay.
He's from Tyler.
So
Tyler, Daryl.
Cedric.
Yeah.
Cedric is the one that I know. Cedric Harrell.
Okay.
So that's you that I know. It's good to see you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Pastor Kirby. And I think Daryl knows you well too, from down there in Tyler. And then Lynetta McCree actually goes to the church there, and Daryl as well. But she speaks of the Kirby's and all of the Hardens often. Yes.
Yeah. And I think we told you this already, and just to say it again, Cedric. So when I met your son back in I think so, yeah, not September, like October of 2020 during the football season, we scheduled a meetup, right when he's getting out work, and I was coming over for a game. And so as we're walking towards each other, of course, we have our mask on, so we can't really see nothing other than right here is all you can really see. And so as I'm walking close, I'm like, wow, okay, I see some similarities. But then as soon as we took off our mask, I said, for us to be so far removed from the tree in terms of, gene wise, we looked quite alike. I was like, man, this is kind of spooky. Like and then
Yeah.
so, and of course,
That's
because
the
of Facebook,
DNA.
that's right. That's right. And so fortunately, because of Facebook and things like that, it's a big photo album. And so Cedric and his family Cedric Jr. and his family was eating at a restaurant, and Kim, which is James Jr.'s daughter, and her family were eating there, and they was literally, their tables was back to back or side by side, one of the two. And she said she looked at him like, he looks familiar. And he said, I think Kim said that she said, what's your name? It says, your name Cedric? And she said, are you Kim? And they've never met before other than just seeing each other on Facebook and the Harden Clan Facebook group. And they just knew that much of it, looked enough, and they just felt the name was correct. And so that was their first time meeting. And that was ironic. I mean, it's just the fact that, they did that. And it's again, long story short, and he doesn't stay too far from where they live. So, which is over here in the Southwest Fort Worth area, Southwest Fort Worth / Crowley / Burleson, that whole quick connect. But all right, so enough of that. Uncle Sidney, closing words with yourself.
Yes, I'm just thankful to just get on because I was waiting for this day. I was not going to miss this day
Yeah,
or the time that I wanted to be on the Harden family discussion. And I'm
lovely,
trying to get more into it
good.
than anything because, like I said, because I don't want to die.
I think you heard you say you don't want to die. I think that's what you said.
Glad
Because
my brother, there's a pretty chance to live to see our young men mature and just help us all out in our health problems.
yeah, awesome. Well, I tell you what, brothers, like I said, we don't want to just try to keep this right around an hour. So basically from the time in which we actually started at 7:13, so that puts us right at an hour, and it was good. And so we'll, when we do our next one, I'll try to give at least a 2-week notice, and then I'll do the same kind of things like I did before with the reminder text, so that keeps you fresh on your mind. But I definitely urge you guys, once you see the text come through with the date, go ahead and plug it into your calendar. And if your calendar allows and you're able to jump on, come on, jump on. Even if you only get to jump on for 5 minutes and got to go, hey, give us that 5 minutes. We'll gladly take it. And as they say, other men that that's in the family, hey, forward that text to them if you don't think they got it. I try to get it to as many people. I think I have about 30. I think it's like 38 mails, Harden mails or Harden Harrow mails that I'm sending them out to. And as you can tell, there wasn't 38 on here. So, but so as if you know of, like I said, Daryl in this case, continue to remind your brother. Remind your brother Daryl. Things that as well as Cedric Jr. I know they all respond. Well, Cedric responded. I was hoping that he was going to be able to jump in, but again, I recognize it might not be the greatest time for everybody, but we want to be able to at least get on while we can. And so it's nothing more, like I said, spend about an hour just iron sharpening iron, sharpening one another, getting each other stronger. But if nothing more, gentlemen, let's see. Let's do this. Pastor Harold, will you close us out in prayer, please?
Oh, sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you humble, and humble as we know how. We're thanking you for your goodness and mercy and your grace that you've shown toward us. Lord, continue to favor us with your loving care and your tender mercies as we leave this conference and this gathering. Lord, continue to watch over us and keep us. It is our prayer, Lord, and we thank you for protection, and we thank you for provision. We thank you for our places of abode. So continue, Lord, Send your guardian angels if you must to watch over us and keep us till we return again at the appointed time. In Jesus' name we pray and we say thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. See y'all.
Amen.
All right, folks, y'all have yourselves a great night, a great week. Whatever you find yourselves doing, do it for the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Right. Bless y'all, brothers.
God bless you.